Okay. So if I talk about yesterday's session, so we just went through basics to if else statements, right? So while loop, for loop, we have gone through. So now we'll be going through. So once you install this Python Jupyter Notebook, so you can import all these things and you can keep on practicing this only. So later you can go with some other things from the different websites. So this whatever we have this right, this are prepared by me. So I'm teaching almost 4 to 5 batches. I mean till now I have taught with this, so 4 to 5 batches. So most of the things are covered. Even they are looking at some website and coming back to me. So even then that is somewhere it's covered. So you can practice or you can take this all these things and do it of your own. Okay. So no need to go to the websites. Everything is covered here. So as per the serial number, you just go through it. So it is easy to understand. Okay, so we have today we'll be discussing on comparison and logical operators. So so if we talk about this comparison and logical operators, we already discussed these things in SQL as well, like where department equals to HR, right? So where department equals to IT. So that means equals to, you're writing only single equals to there. But if we talk about Python, so single equals to means what it is? A equals to 5 in Python means A holds a variable called 5, right? But in SQL, where you are writing in a where query that department equals to HR, which means it is checking for the condition. Okay. But in Python, you have to write double equals to, because already single equals to means assigning some value to the variable, right? So here equals to means double equals to. So when I talk about comparison operator, either it will return true or false. You're comparing something, right? 5 greater than 4, what it is true, right? 5 greater than 4, 5 equals to 5, so that is true. So what I'll do, I'll write 5 equals to 5, which it should return true, right? So in the same way, so what I'll do, I'll just represent a equals to 5. Okay. Now if I write, see, for simplicity, I'm just more readable, so I'm just adding up cells. Okay, which is like it will be easy for you to understand. So I'm just adding up the cells. That means so you'll be able to easily understand. Now I'm writing b equals to 4, let's suppose. So now what, b is 4, so this is what I'm returning it. Now what I'm doing, a equals to b, which means false, right? Because 5 is this and 4 is that. Okay, so now so that's it. So this is what equal returning false. So this is simple comparison operator. So in the same way, just remember all these things, these notations. Equals to means double equals to, you have to write, and not equals to means exclamatory mark and equals to, and this is same in this is same in SQL as well, right? So greater than, this is same in SQL. Less than, this is same in SQL. This all the things are same in SQL. Okay, only equals to, there you are giving single equals to, here we are giving double equals to, because already here single equals to means assigning some value to the variable. Okay, are you fine till here?
Yes, Vinay.
Okay, so we have logical operators and or not. Okay, so same thing we have in SQL as well, right? So and means if both the statements are true, then true. Or means if returns true if any one of the statement is true. That means if both the statements are true, then also it is true. At least one statement should be true. So that is what or is. Not means the opposite of the result. Okay, if you are getting true, okay, if you are writing not in front of that, so that means that opposite, reverse the result. Okay, so x equals to 5 and x greater than equals to 3 and x less than 10, so which means they should return true because both are true. What is the x? We have x5, 5 greater than 3, which is true, and 5 less than 10, which is true. So both are, since we have used and operator, so this is true and this is true, that's why it is true. So I'm just commenting, this is not returning the output, this is just comment. Okay, so I'm saying that this will return this. Likewise, I know the output prior to it, so just to showing it. So you can see the output here, it is true. First statement is true, and this one is also true, or operator, and this is and operator, but opposite of not, which is false. Okay. So this is all about logical operators. So and then is and is not. So if you could see, we already discussed this previously, but again I'll be explaining. A equals to 1 to 3, and B equals to A, and C equals to 1 to 3, and then A is B. This is like basically we are writing A equals to 1 to 3, B equals to A. So that means this A and B represents same address in the memory where 1 to 3 is stored. Okay, but C also holds 1 to 3, but it doesn't represent same address where the 1 to 3 is stored. So these both are different objects. But when coming to B equals to A, so B also holds holds the same memory where 1 to 3 is there. I mean address of the memory where 1 to 3 is there. But if you could see, if you are writing A is B, it is saying true. But A is C, which is saying false, even though 1 to 3 is there, even though this also holds 1 to 3. Okay, so this is how the data is stored in the memory. That is what memory address is, address of the memory. Okay. So this is that. So but if you talk about A equals to C, which will be true, right? Because equals will compare the data. If you could see 1 to 3, 1 to 3, which is true, but A is C, which is false, because the address where this is stored is not matching. Is something, it will be checking like that. Okay, where equals to is something which will be comparing the data against the variables. Okay, so in is something. So let's suppose we have s equals to hello world, and we are just trying to check whether hello is in s. Okay, so hello in hello world, which returns true. If I'm writing hello not in s, which should be false. Okay, which should be false. If you could say this, I have to make it correct, because somebody's, if I am explaining, so it might make confused. Okay, so this is all about comparison and logical operator. So next we'll be going with list operations. So Python list and their operations. So one list is one of the most data structure in Python, allowing you to store a sequence of elements that are mutable. Mutable means changeable. So generally, this we already went through data types, right? So data types are something you'll be having int. Okay, float we have done. We have gone through string. We have gone through complex numbers. I mean complex data types, complex numbers as well. So this we have gone through all of this, right? So in Python, like same like in Java, we have array, right? So in array, like arrays, we'll be having in Python. This is also called as data type, okay, or data structures, sequences, iterables. There are a lot of names, okay, but you can. This is data types, data structures, iterables. You will be calling sequences. You will be calling, so collection of. Basically, this is nothing but collection of elements. Okay, collection of elements. So here it says allowing to store a sequence of elements that are mutable, that are changeable. Okay, so now, so if you see how you will be creating a list. So in order to create a list, you have to use square brackets separated by commas. So if you could see my list, so whatever variable you wanted to give, you can give any name. Okay, I just written my list, and which is equals to 1, 2, 3. Python is fun, something like that. I have 6 elements in my list. So I have 6 elements in my list. 4, 5, 6. Total 6 elements are there. So I'm printing this just to check this 1, 2, 3. Python is fun. So this is a list. Okay, so you can have different elements. I mean, this is a string, this is a number. Okay, this is the string, this is string. So likewise, you can, it's I mean diverse. So basically, it doesn't mean that you have to have only integer numbers. You have to have only string numbers or string characters. It doesn't mean like that. You can. It's a collection of multiple data types. So accessing element. So my list of 0. So we already discussed yesterday related to strings. Okay, strings in the sense we already discussed string slicing, string indexing. Okay, let's suppose if we have Python, a equals to Python. Okay, single. So a of a open the bracket and 0, that will print p. So in the same way, so yesterday we have discussed, right? In the same way, so you can access elements. So you can access any of the element using this kind of indexing. So now we have my list of 0. What it will be printing? It will be printing 1 because that is 0, right? Which the indexing starts from 0. So this prints 1. And minus 2 means, as I already told, whenever you are doing negative numbers, that starts from end. Okay, so minus 2 means this is minus 1 and this is minus 2. So that's why we are getting 4, sorry, is. So if I make it again 1, that will print 2, right? Because 1 2, this should be printed. So you can say 2 is. And this is accessing a single element using indexes. But if we talk about slicing, okay, slicing means, you already know in string slicing the same thing was there. I mean, same thing, whatever we spoke, same thing is applicable here. So minus 1 represent the start of the name start, and this is end, and this is step, which means increment. Now minus 1 means, if I'll just try to see the list here itself, because if I scroll bit a little up, so I'm not able to see this one. Okay, I'm just, so minus 1 represents end, right? So this starts from fun. Okay, and minus 3 represent Python. So it is ending, right? So generally we won't, whatever we are ending, so we won't be showing in the data. So now fun is, why we need minus 1? Because if we increment simply, I mean simply with just 1, what it will be doing? Minus 1 plus 1, which is equals to 0, which means it will not be returning anything, right? So like that's why we need minus 1, because we are coming from the back. Okay, so we are coming from reverse. So minus 1, this is minus 1, minus 2, minus 3, minus 4, minus 5, minus 6. And if we come from the start, it starts from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's what string slicing is. So my list 4. So which means what it will be returning? This is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, which is. Okay. So likewise, you can practice. So so this is all about indexing and accessing the element using indexes and strings, indexing, list slicing. So we have adding elements. Okay. Do you have any questions still here? Sandeep, Priyanka, Akhil, any questions still here?
No, Vinay.
No, Vinay.
Okay. Am I going fast, or it's fine?
It's fine,
If you
Vinay.
can make it little bit slow, it is okay.
Okay. Okay. So you can interrupt me in between. Don't hesitate to, unmute yourself. Okay. Hmm. Okay. So this one, this is how you get it. Okay, so now adding elements. Adding elements means, so what is the current one? Let's see current list. Okay, so this is a list which we already, you know created this, right? Same, with the same list we are doing the things. You can see 1 2 3 Python is fun. So these 6 elements are there. Now I want to add exclamatory mark at the end. I mean, not exclamatory mark, I will add something. I'll write Vinay. Okay, I want to add this element. So at that time, you have to remember append function, append method. So whenever you had this requirement, you just have to remember, okay, there is an append function. I'll be using that. Okay. So in the same way, so I have used append function here. So my list dot append, in the bracket, open the brackets and close. In between that, you will write the element, single element. So now I'm running. So I ran it. Okay. So whenever I'm running, so you can notice this, I'm just entering shift and holding the shift and clicking on enter. So which means it is running. Okay, two times it is inserted, I guess. Okay, so two times Vinay would be inserted because I have run this two times. So now if I do this, so you can see Vinay is added at the end. So append will add the element at the end to the list. And then we have insert. So this is also one way of adding an element, but at specific index. Okay, at specific index. Let's suppose now I'm adding, you know, really at index 4. So if we count this, the updated list. Okay, why we called this as mutable? If you could see here, you can see that are mutable. That is why we are calling it as mutable. Mutable means changeable. So you can see we have defined the list this way. So whenever we created the list, the first time when we created, the elements was 1 2 3. Python is fun. But when I talk about this append, so we it's list appending means adding some element. So that means we are changing the list, right? We are editing, modifying, updating the list, right? So that is what mutable is. And my list now it's this way. So we have this many elements. And now if I talk about insert, so insert is inserting the value at specific index. So you can see 0 1 2 3 4. So after Python you'll be having really. Okay, if I make it 3, after this 3 will be having Python, because 0 1 2 and next one would be 3, so that would be here. So I'm just running this again, exiting this, exited this, and 1 2 3 really is at the third position, and Python is after that. Okay, so this is what insertion is. And again, my list append is, you already know what is. So is something you
Sorry
will
to
be.
interrupt you, Vinay.
Yeah, yes, Priyanka.
Uh, my list dot append Vinay. You have given the command, but in the answer it is displaying two times Vinay. Why?
Okay, so at that time I ran twice. Okay, I ran this twice, two times. So I'm running again. I ran it again. If I again run this and check the list, updated list, you can see three times. So at that time, in order to show you, I ran it two times. So that's why if I run it again, it will be three times.
Okay, okay.
So I ran this thing again. So since this is manually, we are practicing, right? So this happens, but in real time, what you will be doing, you'll be writing some script. You'll just giving that script to the machine. It will be executing. So this for practice we are doing. Okay. So now if I again make this changes, I am writing
So
something
how
like,
many times we run, it accepts, but it doesn't give us error.
yeah, this doesn't gives an error. So it can have duplicates. So there is
Oh,
one more thing we have set. So whenever you are adding Vinay twice or thrice, it only takes one element. There we that means this is that doesn't accept duplicate. So okay, so mylist dot append, so we are adding, I just added this one, so this is what. But as you said, so this is happening twice thrice. Okay, so as soon you execute that one. But in other data structure, I mean data type, same like list, there is one thing called set. So there it will remove the duplicates. So that is a benefit of set, and this is one benefit of list. Okay, so yeah, append means adding the value at the end, insert means adding at specific index. So any doubts still here?
no, Vinay.
Okay, perfect. So we can remove the elements. So we will try to remove some elements. So let's update this list. This is the previous output. Okay, if I'll just try to update by running this. Okay, I ran it. So this is not in a in the same line because we added too many elements. So that's why. Okay. So in order to remove the elements, we have two things. One is remove, one is pop. So So this remove first removes, since we have is, how many is we have? Okay, we have only one is. Okay, we'll remove that. So just forget about this things because that was the previous run. Okay, so you just forget about all these things whatever already there. Okay, I'm just running it again. So you can see 1 2 3 really, and is removed, right? Is removed. So what I'm doing, what is does is removing, it removes the first matching value. That means first, if you could see, Vinay is there. Okay, if I remove Vinay, all Vinays will not be gone. Only this particular element will be gone. You can see 1 2 3. Now 1 2 3, three times Vinay is there. But if you could see the previous output, 4 times is there. Again, if I run it, it will remove this Vinay. Okay. Now only we have to revinize again. So likewise, now if I run it, it will throw error. It says Vinay is not there. Okay. So this is remove. So now it says Vinay is not there because we don't have this element, because I have ran it thrice 4 times. So like that, because we have 4 Vinays, so I have to run 4 times. So that is what remove is. So you can see the definition to remove the first matching value. Okay, if Vinay is here and if Vinay is here, so it will remove the first matching value, the first one. Okay, it starts from the sequence, it starts from the order. Okay, so that's all about remove. And if there is no element, it will throw an error. Okay, that you have to remember, because sometimes in your project you are trying to use remove and that particular element is not there. Okay, you might think that it will ignore that, but in production, if that script goes, it will throw an error. So okay, so now we have pop. So pop is to remove an item at given position. So if you could see pop of 3. So I'll just remove this thing and just try to print this. Okay, so now we have pop of 3. So pop of 3 means, pop means generally it starts from end. Okay, pop means generally if you talk about the data structures, not this data structures, some subject called data structures is there in CSE. You'll be having push, pop, stack, queue. So this kind of programming, some kind of data structures are there. So there also pop means from the end. So in the same way, this also starts from end. Pop of 3 means you can just count the previous one, 1 2 3. So you can say Python is removed here. Even if you write it like removed item equals to my list dot pop of 3, whatever removed, right, that will be returning the value, that will be returned, and that same thing we are assigning it to variable. And I just printed that as well to show is removed item Python. So removed item, it's in single quotes, which means that will print the exact thing what we have written. Okay, so this is Python. So Python we have removed. Pop starts from end and removes that item. Just remember this thing. So if you don't give anything, index, it will remove the last item. So now means now we have winner ready, right? This element will be removed. If I write pop now, I mean if I enter just this, I'm entering this, I entered it. Okay, so you can see the updater list contains 1 2 3 fun. Binary is removed. So that it's what it is. So in order to bypass that error, so as I said you that remove will throw an error if there is so if doesn't contain the element, it will throw an error, right? In order to bypass an error, you can make use of if statement. Okay, so you will write if this element, okay, this is some element not there in the list, I just simply written something else whatever comes to me in my keyboard. So I've written that in my list, right? So now that if condition, what it tries to check whether this element is there in the my list or not. If it is there, if it is true, then run this. Okay, otherwise ignore this. So that is what it is saying. So now I just entered this, so it is throwing error. But same, I'm entering this, it will not throw error because It is checking first itself this element is there in the list or not. If this is there, then remove it. If it is not there, just ignore that. Ignore this piece of code because this returns false. So that's why. Okay, so any questions still here?
Can you repeat once again, Vinay?
Okay, this one.
No, the
See, as
previous
I
one
said,
and both.
remove. So simple remove. If you talk about list, okay. So if you see the my list, so let's see updated elements. So we have done a lot of things, right? So let's see what is the updated list right now. 1, 2, 3, fun. There are 4 elements, right? So we know that remove will throw an error if that element is not available in the list. Okay. So I'm writing something. Let's say I'm write your name Priyanka. Okay. So let's write Priyanka there. So I'm removing this, but this element is not there in the list. What error it is throwing? List dot remove at x, which means Priyanka. Priyanka is not in list. Value error. This is throwing an error, right? So what I am doing, I am making use of my other logical skills, okay, Python skills, that I'll implement if condition. If Priyanka element is available in the list, then only I will execute this command. I mean this statement. So now what I'm doing, I'm writing Priyanka here. Okay. If Priyanka in my list, which means if Priyanka is in my list elements, then run this. Okay. Here also I need to update this. Okay. Then run this. That's it. If no Priyanka is available in my list, then don't run this. That is what if else condition is, right? If else conditions. I didn't write else because however I have only one condition to be read, if this returns false, it doesn't execute anything. However, this returns false because Priyanka is not a element of my list. So now again you see I'm again running, it's not there. If you run this, it will not throw error because here itself it is false. How it will go to this statement? It will not run this statement, right? So did you get it now?
Yeah, yes, Vinay.
Okay, perfect. Just making use of if statement. I mean just trying to understand what if does again. So already we have gone through if statement, while statement, for loop, and these things. But again, sometimes I used to recap these things, to make sure that you don't forget. Okay, so we have list slicing. So same thing. Okay, this we already discussed. Okay, so slicing we already discussed here. So while accessing the elements itself, this one. So, but however, we will go through few examples. Okay, first if we'll just try to check my list. What is the updated elements? You can see 1, 2, 3, fun. So this 4 are currently having, we are having. So I want 2, 3 alone. So how I have to write 2, 3 alone? Let's start from 0, 0, 1, 2, 3. So that means I'll write 2, sorry, 1, because that is the starting number. One doesn't mean this one, okay? So this is 0 index, this is 1 index, and this 3 is 2 index, and this is 4 index. So total number of elements we have is, uh, sorry, this is 3, this is 2, this is 1, this is 0. So now I wanted to get 2, 3. So what I'll be writing, I'll write 1 colon 3. So which brings you 2, 3. So just remember this, like indexing starts from 0, and slicing means you want 3 and fun. Okay, let's try to add few more things so that it will be interesting. So I'll just try to run it again. Okay, I'll just try to run I'll add a few more things. Maybe Vinay. Okay, so now I updated the list. So now if I come to this place, I'm running it again, which will show you the updated one. 1, 2, 3 Python is fun Vinay. Now I want is when. So these two elements to be written. What I'll be writing? You just count it 0, 1, 2, 3, and this is 4. So let's start from 4. Okay, this is 5, but I don't want ending letter is 5, right? 5 will be, if I write 5, it will just print is only. But I need to write 6 because I want to end at 6. I don't want to return 6. I want to end at 6. So whenever you are dealing with this, you should know the first 4 indicate start, and second 4 indicate second element indicates end, and the other one is their increment. By default it is +1. Okay, if you wanted to make it -1 -2, that is your wish, but by default it will go to the next element. Is there, so now you will be returning is and fun. Okay, so since by default this is 1. Okay, if I run same thing, by default it is 1, because is 1 means incrementing by 1. So first we have written is, and then next one incrementing by 1, which means fun. If next one is Vinay, so until unless it's 6, it won't be returned. So Vinay is position at 6, so which is end, right? Ending the ending the thing. So that's what it is. Okay, so any questions still here? Okay, so this is reversing the list. Okay, reversing means we started with -1, which means it starts from Vinay, and ending infinite, we are not ending anywhere. So that means it's end till here, and incrementing by -1, which means -1 and this. In the next, next iteration, -1 -1, which is -2, which means function will be returned. -2 again, -1 -3, which means is will be returned, because -1 -2 -3 -4 -5, likewise. So this is what reverse of a reversing the list. Okay, lists are ordered. Okay, how you insert the data in the same way you'll be having the data. So that is one thing. So you can see at the start we inserted in this way. So this in the same way your list is returned. You can see whenever I enter my list, so you can see this in this way itself we have entered. There is no jumblings at all. So that is why it is ordered, mutable. Mutable means changeable. So we are doing some operation, right? That means we are changing something. Iterating through a list. So generally for item in my list, item, like iterating through a list, which means iterating means going through each one. So we are using for loop. So for item in my list has some elements. It will print each element once. So we are printing item. So item represents one element at a time. So one is one element, 2, 3, 5 Python. So this is this way. So if I write this way, hi, my name is hi, that's it. Okay, I'm writing hi and I'm writing comma. So now you can see hi one, hi two, hi Python, hi his, hi fun, hi Vinay. So likewise, so this is like iterating through the loop. And then list comprehension. So you already know what is if statement, for loop, and now we'll be going through list comprehension. So what happened here? So what range of 10 will be doing? You might be aware of this because we spoke in the last class. Range of 10 would print 0 to 9. Okay, you can see range of 10 would print 0 to 9. If I write list over here, so this range is converted to list, which will bring you 0 to 9, right? So now for x in range of 0 to 9, okay, that means every time x will be some integer. Let's suppose at first time it is 0, and then at that time itself, if x, if 0 is divisible, or modulus 2 equals to 0, that means we'll just get this, we will make that number 0 to the power of 2. Will that be 0? That would be 0, right? So 0 is printed. So now again 1. So 1, you know, percentile 2 equals to 0. So which is not equals to, right? Which will give you some remainder. 1 divided by 2 will give you some remainder, right? So that's why here this will be terminated here itself. 1 will not be returned. And if we talk about 2, 2 modulus 2 equals to 0, right? The remainder is 0, right? So then it is true. So basically we are trying to get the even numbers, okay? 2 and 3. Again, if you go to 3, 3 percentile 2 equals to 0, which means 1 will be the remainder, which is not even number. So again we are skipping. Again, if you go to 4, 4 percentile 2 equals to 0. 4 4 is a 6, 4 yeah, 4 2 2s are 4, right? No remainder, so 0 remainder. So now this satisfies. This is true. Then again x star star 2, which means 4 to the power of 2, which means 4 4s are 16. 16 is printed. So this is what list comprehension is. Okay, this seems to be complex, but if you practice it, you will be able to understand this. So what we are doing here, we are writing a condition in a single sentence. We are using for loop, if loop, and the computation what we are trying to get this output. So for if loop we have written, for loop we have written, and the value that we wanted to assign it to squared numbers is also written. Okay, so any doubts in list comprehension? So this is using list comprehension, but if we talk about traditional normal way of writing the code, so this is how you write the code. You can see how easy it is. This is how easy, and this is a bit complex to understand, but if you understand it, it's not a big deal for you. So you can see we have written a empty list for I in range of 10, and added this, which means you are indenting. So if percentile I 2 equals to 0, so which means it keeps on looping through 0 to 9 elements. S dot append I star star 2, so which means 1 to the if that is divisible by 0, then it will add these numbers, I mean sorry, square numbers. And now if you append, we have used here, right? We already know what is append now. So is okay, so I didn't run this. So you can see 0 16 32 36 64. So that is what it is. Okay, so any questions here? Okay, so I assume you
No,
don't have
Vinay.
any questions. Okay, so sorting lists. So list can be sorted with sort method. So you can see this many numbers we have, this many elements we have, and now we are just using sort. That's it. Sort means which will sort the numbers. So you can see 1 1 2 3 4 5 alphabetical order, or any, since it is numbers, this will be numbering order. So sort is the one which sorts the list. So you have to remember sort. The method is sort. You have to remember it. And then len. Okay, len means size of this list. So you can see 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8, totally 8 elements are there. So that is what len is. So len of that particular list will give you numbers. Okay, same thing. And then copying lists. So there are two ways of copying lists. So I'll talk about this here. So same thing is represented over here. This one is representation is so same, but here this is I have written in a proper way. Shallow copy versus deep copy in Python. So shallow copy means a copy creates a new object that doesn't create new. Yeah. Okay. So this is something reference. So we already spoke about this. So like a equals to 1 2 3, a equals to b. So that is shallow copy. Okay. A equals to 1 2 3 and a equals to b, because both represent same thing, same memory address, same address, right? So if what I will do, I'm writing a equals to 1 comma 2 comma 3. Okay, and I'm writing again b equals to a. Okay, this is fine, right? Now what I'm doing, a I'm printing, it's 1 to 3. Again I'm printing b, it is 1 to 3, right? Now what I'm doing, I'm trying to update b value. Okay, b dot append, I'm adding some 4. Okay, I'm adding 40, that's fine. I'm adding 40. Okay, so now what happens, I'll just again try to add one more cell and just check b. It's 1 2 3 40. And now if I go and check a, it is also changed, but we just tried to append it to 40 to b, but even it is also changed. So that is what shallow copy is. So if you are doing this way, it is shallow copy. So if you are doing this way, it is shallow copy, and whatever you update in list A, if you update in list B, so both will be reflected. So that is what shallow copy is. And now, okay, so any issue till here, shallow copy? So here you are creating a list which is a equals to 1 to 3, and you are also you are also doing b equals to a, which means b also holds 1 to 3. But what you are doing again for b, you are trying to add 40, element 40. Now if you click b and check, you since you added 40, it is there for b. It's no problem because you added 40 for b only. But if you check a again, a is also changed and you can see 40. This is because a and b represents to the same object. Okay, because we said b equals to a. Instead, you can say like this 1 comma 2 comma 3. If you write it like this, both represent some different memory addresses. Okay, this data is stored at different addresses. So at that time, no problem. But what we have done, we have written b equals to a. That is a problem now. Okay, this is what shallow copy is. Okay, and now we have deep copy. Deep copy creates a new object and recursively creates new object for all elements nested with original object. Changes made to original object elements will not affect the deep copy and vice versa. Okay, so now what we will be doing, we'll be going through deep copy. Okay, so in order to get the deep copy, understand the concept of deep copy, we will try to import a deep copy method. So this one import copy, and in that, so first we have, let's try to initiate the things. So we have a original list 1 2 3 4 5 6, right? So this is a list within a list 1 2 3, and this is one more thing 4 5 6. I'm just entering this, and if I want to access 5, how you'll be accessing? So if I wanted to access 5, how you'll be accessing? This is 0, this is 1, right? You will write, now you will write 1 because our element is in here. So I'm writing 1. Now from in this, so I'll explain you in better way. So if I talk about original list, I'll try to show you data. Now I wanted to access 5. Okay, I wanted to access 5 now. I'm slicing it, I'm indexing it. I'll open the bracket and close the bracket. And now I write this is 0 and this is 1 because this is the nested list. So now my element which I'm planning to get it at in this list. So what I'll write 1. Now I'll check again what it is returning 4 5 6. Now in this my element is at position 1 because this is 0, this is 1. Again I'll write it and write 1. Now you can see 5. So that is how you get the nested elements. Okay, so this is not a deep copy concept. This is a concept of how to access the elements. But since we didn't go through the nested one, so So since we didn't go to the nested one, so that's why I just explain you right now. Okay, so next deep copy. So if I talk about deep copy, we have to import the copy method. I mean copy like module. So now you can check this. There is a deep copy concept. So deep copied list. I'm writing this variable name just to understand. But you can give your name whatever you want to the variable, and then you can write this copy. This is copy dot deep copy because this deep copy function is available in this function. So copy dot deep copy and original list. So if you talk about the original list, this is the original list 1 2 3 4 5 6, and I'm writing it, I'm running this. Okay, now we have two things. One is original one, this is deep copy list, and the other one is original one. You can see both has same thing 1 2 3 4 5 6 1 2 3 4 5 6. Okay, but if I write uh, original, this is deep copy list, it should be false. Even though both are same, it should be false because this is a deep copy. Deep copy means this whatever elements are there, even though they look similar, but both are stored in different memory address. Okay, both are stored at different. Okay, but in case of the previous example, in the shallow copy, you can see in case of previous example, if I write a is b, it will be true because we assigned it this way, b equals to a equals to b. So that way we have done. But here deep copy means copying is at it as a separate thing in memory. Okay, separate container or something in the memory. So that's why it is false. Now, so that's why if I try to change some object in the original list or copy list anywhere, they won't get reflected. So now what I'm doing, let's see, original list is this 1 2 3 4 5 6. What I'm doing, I'm just trying to change this 0 of 0 to 100,000. So I'm changing, and again I'm trying to print it. So you can see original list is this, but if you check this, okay, this is the previous output, don't worry about this. I'm just running it now. You can see 1 2 3 whatever the original list is there. Even I change this, it won't be affecting this original list. So that is what deep copy is. Just go through the Google, okay, go through some website, and again get more understanding. Only one thing, that difference between deep copy and shallow copy, if you change any list in the shallow copy, it will be reflected in the both the list, okay, copied and the original one. When coming to deep copy, both represent the separate one. Instead, the data looks similar at the initial stage, but if you keep on adding, inserting some data into any of these things, both are not getting reflected. Okay, if you change in deep copy list, it won't affect the original one. If you are changing in original, it won't affect the deep copy one. Okay, so are you clear till here? Priyanka and Sandeep, Satyakiran. So are you clear till here?
Vinay, can you
Okay,
explain me the deep copy concept again?
okay. So where is this? Okay, so if I take this notebook, notepad plus, okay. So now what we'll be doing here. So this is A. Okay, so now we have Python. Okay, this is, we were talking about shallow copy. shallow copy. Now we have a equals to 5, and this is 5 means this list, okay, 5 comma 6, right? So we have this list, we have done it, we have it. So now what we are writing, b equals to a, right? So now what we are doing, again you are trying to append it to the b, which is 6, 7 value. Now b will be 5, 6, 7, right? B will be this because you appended it to b. But now again a is also changed to 6 because it's a shallow copy. Okay, a will be also changing. If you update a, that will be updated to b. So vice versa. You got it right, shallow copy, because this 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 567 is stored and represented at same memory address in the Python. So same memory address. This 567 is stored in at particular memory. Let's suppose in this it is stored. Let's suppose some memory address. So this data 567, only one 567 is equals to b and a. I mean, yeah, you got it right, Lokesh. So this
Yeah,
567 is stored some address that represents a and b as well. Okay, if you're changing b, that will be reflected in a. If you're changing a, that will be reflected in b. So that is what shallow copy is. Okay, and then we have deep copy. Okay, now a equals to, just don't think about nested loops. Okay, we'll talk, that is also, nested loop. Just understand this nested without nested, 1 2 3 0. Now what we have written, b equals to b equals to copy dot deep copy, because that comes from copy module. Okay, deep copy, which is a. Now what we are doing in, if we talk about layman language, we are doing this. This is nothing but b equals to just simple 1 2 3. This is stored in somewhere and this is stored in somewhere in the memory. A is stored in somewhere in the memory, which is equals to 1 2 3. B is stored in somewhere in the memory, which is equals to 1 2 3. If you change a, if you append it to a, 4 we are appending, so it will be changed to 4, right? Forget about this brackets. Now it is 4, we are appended. Okay, a dot append of 4 we have appended. And again if you check b, it will still 1 2 3 only, because it won't be reflected, because copy dot deep copy of a, what it says, it will be same like this. But if you talk about b equals to a, that is nothing but shallow copy, which means b means a. What is a? A is 1 2 3, which is at some particular location. We are just assigning it at assigning the data which is in some particular memory which is referencing to. But if you talk about the deep copy, it is layman, in layman language I can say this is replaced with this data 1 2 3. So that means this 1 2 3 is stored in some particular location and a 1 2 3 is stored in separate location. So that means these both are separate. The data is same at the initial level, but the data is represented in some other location and this is represented in some other location. If we are just changing some values in a, if you're updating some values like appending Vinay as an element in the a, that won't be reflected in the b, that won't be reflected in the b. So did you get this now?
yes, Vinay.
Okay, Lakesh. So anyone has any issues still here? Did you understand this deep copy? Okay, so I hope everybody is clear. So there is a join. So join is nothing but list one, list two, A, B, C, 1, 2, 3. So we have two lists. So list one place list two, that is fine. It will just add two elements, two lists. You can see ABC is there, 1 2 3 here. Now we have created list 3, which is equals to list 1 plus list 2. So which is ABC 1 2 3. That's it. That's simple, just plus, that's it. Okay. So now list 3, and we have created list 4, which has Vinay and Harminder. And now this list 4, we are trying to add it to list 3. So what is list 3? Updated list 3. This is the list 3, and we want to add two elements. We want to add one more list to this. Instead of writing like this, you can also write extend. So list 3 dot extend list 4, which means we are extending list 3. We are extending list 3. List 3 is now updated with this Vinay and Harminder. Okay, extend is nothing but just appending, same like appending, but appending will add only one element at a time. Extend will add list at a time. Okay, list of elements. Okay. Okay. So that's all from my end regarding the lists. So maybe you can go to W3 schools. If you install the Jupyter notebook, that would be fine. You'll be able to, have a good interactive session. Otherwise, you'll be lagging behind. So try to install this Jupyter notebook. So if you install it, you can practice all these things. I'll be sharing this uh, complete zip file or any, I'll be sharing all the scripts under drive. So you can go to the hands-on codes. In that you'll be having Python, so there you can get it. And you can just go to, once you install the Jupyter notebook, what you can do, just import this file. Import this. You can see new folder, just create some folder and get all those files to here, this place. Okay, so I'll be sharing these files, Python tutorials, everything, so you can go through all of those. So okay, same thing, tuples. You can go through tuples once before coming to the class tomorrow. So it's simple, so nothing much. Just try to do it, if you have time. So just go through these things. So we'll be talking tomorrow. So I think already it's 9:30, something like that for you guys. So yeah, we can wrap up the class, and tomorrow we'll be connecting for 2 hour session or one and a half hour session. Okay. So yeah, yes, please install this Jupyter notebook. So yeah, any questions still here, guys?
No, Vinay.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, everyone. Yeah. Bye. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Vinay.